Hello, I'm Chrissy Seaton and thank you for visiting my YouTube channel again. In my previous video, I explained that I would give some examples of trusted teachers, people who are able to lead you or instruct you, advise you wisely in relation to your journey as a Noahide. Now, some of us have been Noahides for quite some time, and so therefore we know the rabbis and teachers that we trust and we know are going to give us sound and correct information. But if you're new to this journey of being a Noahide or finding more about the Noahide laws, then you're kind of left in the dark a little bit because you're not sure who is the most credible teacher for you at that particular time on that particular topic, for example. So it's a little bit like a minefield for you, stepping here, there and everywhere, and so you can often end up listening to that teacher, then that one, and then they all give you a bit of something that either confuses you or worse still, it leads you down a very treacherous, unhealthy path. And some of you out there will know what I'm talking about. There are teachers and there are teachers. Now, what I'm going to speak to you about today is my experience with the teachers that I trust explicitly. Now, that doesn't mean that if there's a rabbi or a teacher not on this list, it doesn't mean that I don't trust them or they're not worthy of your attention. It's just speaking from my personal experience, because I know the ones that I trust, I feel extremely confident in recommending their teachings or their organisations as a source of information, teaching, reading material, whatever. So if I've left some names out that may be excellent teachers, I apologise, but I thought it best that I speak from my experience and my learning and the teachings that I was given, and I found them to be tried and proven and accurate. And so that's what I want to pass on to you. Now, before I proceed, I also want to say too that when you're just in the beginning, it is hard because you can go this way and that way, and someone tells you one thing, another one says, oh no, you can do this, you can keep the Sabbath, oh you can do this, do that, do everything the Jews do. Well, no, you can't. In fact, to do some of those things is very, very bad. That's called creating a new religion, and there's been enough misguided people in this world that have gone ahead and made new unworthy religions, and there's still people by the thousands in those man-made religions. So let's just stay focused on the Noahide laws, the 7 divine laws given for all mankind, for the Gentiles, but for all mankind. The Jews have 10 commandments. We, the Noahides, have 7. I've talked about this at great length in previous videos, and I think there's 365 videos on my YouTube channel now, and playlists, etc., topics, etc. You can go back and research some of those at your own leisure. But now let's just get on to the topic of trusted teachers. From my experience, this is, all right? I don't want to enter into any discussion or anything about why some haven't been mentioned. It's just I'm speaking from my experience with the teachers that I've dealt with, and I've found to be truthful and accurate according to the Torah recommendations. So let's have a look at these. I know these individuals personally that I'm going to meet, most of which I think I've met. Might be the exception of one or two that I haven't met in person, but I know them all from being online or listening to them or reading their works, etc., or meeting them personally. And I, as I said, have found their teachings to be truthful and accurate. They have stood up under pressure and investigation. So here is my list. I'm just going to go through them now. Look, most of these rabbis or teachers are listed on my website with their contact details in terms of their email or their website and what have you. However, at this present time, my website's got to go under some revamping and refreshing. So just don't panic if you don't see all these names there right away. Some of them you definitely will, but there might be one or two new ones I haven't added to it. So don't panic. So let me talk about them, and these are not in order of their abilities. This is just in order of how they came out on the paper. Now, one of my favourites is our very own Australian rabbi, Dr. Shimon Cowan. He lives in Australia, and he is been a long time advocate for the Noahide laws and teaching them, and we are extremely blessed to have him at our fingertips in Australia. Now, most Sundays he does a Zoom teaching, and not every Sunday, but most Sundays. And those of us that know him, we go and we listen to that because it's always something relevant. No matter what the topic is, it's got a relevance for us as Gentiles, as righteous Gentiles. He has written several books. He's been awarded several, how shall I say, honours, I suppose, and he is really a go-to rabbi, Dr. Shimon Cowan. He has a website. It's called the Institute of Judaism and Civilization. I'm going to link some of these links in the description box below, but as we update the website, there'll also be those links for these teaching individuals. But at the moment, they'll be in the description box. So Rabbi Cowan is excellent. The next one I want to recommend is, and these aren't in order of how good they are, this is just how I've organised my list today. So if you're last on the list, it doesn't mean say you were the last. So we have also Rabbi Dr. Michael Schulman, and he has the website called asknoah.org, which has an absolute plethora of information there. He's outstanding in as much as one of the first to sort of get things online and get things going out there for the average Gentile. And he has a son, Rabbi Yossi Schulman, who also teaches, and he's the assistant director of Ask Noah organisation. If you just, anywhere you are online, if you just print in asknoah.org or something, or Ask Noah, there'll be a heap of stuff come up. It's self-explanatory. There's links, there's references. It's a haven for information. It's been around for a long time and it's tried and proven. So I suggest you asknoah.org. Now, the other one I want to talk about now is Rabbi Moshe Weiner. Now, you've heard me talk of Rabbi Moshe Weiner many times. He is the author of this magnificently large book of law for Noahides. It's our Shulchan Aruch. The Jews have their book of law, and we as Noahides have our book of law. This, I think, it's the 4th edition. Yes, it's the 4th edition. I've nearly worn out my other couple of editions from writing notes and things. But this is the 4th edition. Again, you can locate this on the web. There'll be links again in the description box. I won't keep repeating them. This is our book of law. Now, let me just tell you something. We as Noahides cannot just sit back in our rocking chair and to expect to be talked at and spoon-fed about what we are to trust, what our Noahide laws mean in terms of our behaviour, etc., or what we think we might need to do. We have got to start taking responsibility also for the accuracy of the information that we use or read or study from. Now, this is our book of law. Every Noahide law is discussed in infinite detail. In fact, if there's a fault to it, it has so much detail that if you are new to learning about the Noahide laws, you'll get a bit confused, but don't let that stop you, because it is ultimately, after you've broken the ice and started to get in and read a few simpler books, and there are some out there which I have previously mentioned in other videos, but this is the go-to. This is the acid test. And if you hear an opinion about something and you think, oh, well, I'm not sure that doesn't sound right, or you come back to this. You come back to this. It's got a tremendous index, and I can't recommend it enough. And so we do have to stop calling out, help, help, tell me this, tell me this. We've got to start looking up. If someone says something to us and we think, then we need to see if we can find the relevance in here. What does it say about it? Do we do it or don't we do it? Both of which are described in this book, what we can and what we can't do, and how important it is that we don't go off on a tangent thinking, oh, I like that, I'm going to do, the Jews do that, I'll do that too. If you start doing that, you are creating a new religion, which is not to be. You're starting your own new religion, and that is not. We have all we need. We have 7 Noahide laws. So that I can't recommend that highly enough. Never mind saying, oh, it's too complicated. Listen, you've got to start reading it bite by bite. And every year, Rabbi Shulman puts out a study guide, a daily study guide, whereby you do a couple of pages every day. And you get through the whole thing in a year. And the next year, you start again. And that is how you grasp the details. Then and Rabbi Yossi Shulman, his son, he has done some marvelous classes, and there'll also be links to all those free. That a lot of them are online now. He's organised people to give classes and things like that. I think I did a set of videos on what was it? Seven Gates of Righteous Knowledge. That's right. I shouldn't forget that. I should remember it. I love that book. But anyway, that you can track down lots of classes free that are now online. You can go on YouTube and find them, so to speak. And the links will be in those websites where you can find them. Now, moving on. So that is Rabbi Moshe Weiner. Brilliant man. I've met him in person a number of times. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man. Now, let's move on. There is another organisation now called Noahide Nations. Ray Peterson, been a Noahide for some time, and he has done a stellar task in assembling a wonderful website that has all manner of rightful, honest, truthful information on it. He has had access to some wonderful rabbis for teaching. For instance, Rabbi Bloomen did a course, and all those things are available. You can go and look that up, and Again, it is education.noahidenations.com. Again, there'll be a link for you to follow. I can't stress that enough. Ray is much under-recognised, I think, in some areas for all the pioneering. He was out there in the forefront really early days, and what he developed and produced then still holds true today. So kudos to him for a wonderful job and his contribution to Noahides throughout the world. So please visit his website. Now, another two I want to talk about in partnership is Rabbi Moshe Parrot. I have met Rabbi Parrot several times when I've been to Israel. He is a brilliant scholar, brilliant rabbi, and he has a platform called it's Noahide-academy.com. Again, the link will be in the description box. And he has a plethora of courses there, from the very basic right through to more graduate type studies. And I encourage you, you probably won't want to start right on something very difficult at this stage if you're just new to finding out about the Noahide laws. But by all means, look at the website and know what's available. There are simple courses and there are much more complicated ones on there. Go and take a look at what's available. I know this man, brilliant young man, and I trust his teachings. I trust him. Now, he also is accompanied on this website by Rabbi Avi St Nits, and he is very good. I don't know, I have not met this rabbi in person, but I understand from what I see of him, he's. I feel if Rabbi Parrot is associated with him, then he must be trustworthy. So that's my recommendation. Education.noahide that's for Ray Peterson, education.noahidenations.com. For Rabbi Parrot at the Academy, it's noahide-academy.com, the link. And I'll put them in the description box. Now, I'm coming to kind of the end of my list, but by no means being at the end of the list means you're at the bottom of the list. You've probably heard me speak about Hayes and Hilton. They're two Noahide men in America, I think Tennessee. And I did a video about these two men. They are just brilliant. They are if I had to have two younger brothers, these are the baby brothers I'd want. They are right on it. They're right on it. They're a delight. They have a sense of humour. They are warm, they're learned, and they can break down the conversation into particles that we can absorb very easily. Now, they are Terry Hayes and Scotty Hilton, and I call them Hayes and Hilton, both Noahides for many years, wonderful teachers, both of them. And they do a weekly Zoom teaching gathering, whatever you want to call it, and that is usually they put the notices out on Facebook, etc., but it is weekly Zoom meetings live, and they're called Outreach Noah. I'll put all this in the description box. Noahides, so it's on, and then if you can't make it to the live, and it's usually Thursday around about 7:30 at night in Tennessee, but they do put the change the times with the daylight saving, things like that. But it's on a Thursday evening, their time. And that makes it sort of about mid-morning our time here in Australia. But if you miss the live, don't panic, because they do put it up on their website on their YouTube channel, I should say, I beg your pardon, they put their recent YouTube Zoom meeting has completed, they then later on upload that onto YouTube channel. And so if you go to at Outreach Noah, again in the description box this will be. So Hayes and Hilton, Terry Hayes and Scotty Hilton, two of the finest products in Tennessee. And I know they won't be offended when they hear me say that. So it's not just whiskey that comes out of there. Hayes and Hilton do too. So, Outreach Noah for these boys. Now, that is a starting point. I find Hayes and Hilton always talk about things on a level we can understand. Sometimes it's even topical, what's going on at the time. But certainly it's very grounded in authentic Noahide teachings. So they don't go off the rails and they don't go pick this and pick that. No. These are straight line. It's kosher. No, I shouldn't say that. No, it's not. Forgive me. It is the right law for us as Noahides, okay? So you need to pop in and look at some of those. You can go right now when you finish watching this video and look at some of these previous Zoom meetings that they've done. Zoom classes, I should say, really. That's what they are. They are marvellous. You'll learn so much. And it's done in such a way that it's easy to listen to them, real easy to listen to them. So please avail yourself of those. And they are a marvellous example because they're Noahide men or Noahide people that are out there teaching other Noahides. And, you know, they're being very responsible. They also have go-to rabbis that they go to for further information and learning and making sure they're treading on the correct path, which we need to do at times. But you need to, particularly when you are just starting out on your journey as a Noahide, you need to be very careful who you learn from, because you can be led astray very quickly, and it's not your fault because you don't know. You kind of think, well, they're the teacher, I've got to trust them. So it's most important that you have access to a foundation or a group of teachers or whatever, or a teacher that you know is going to give you the right information. And at any time, if you can always look something up for yourself in the Divine Code. Again, when you're starting out, it may be a bit daunting, all the reading, but little by little you will get through it. You know, I've heard people say, oh, it's got too much detail in it. Well, I disagree. The detail is there because we need to know it. And that tells me that it's our book of law. We need to treat it like a law book and look at the fine detail. You know, overlooking the detail is allowing the devil in, as someone once said. That's not my words, but... so you need to know the details. It's the finer detail that makes sense of the law and makes it clear what we can do and what we can't do. Don't let us ever get so cocky that we think we don't need to come back to the textbook, so to speak. We do. And we need to be responsible for what we learn and what we believe. You can't blame someone else. You have to test it out and find out for sure. So that is my, I want to close by saying this list isn't exhaustive. So if someone's not on the list, it's only because I haven't had experience with them, and I'm only going to speak of the teachers that I have personally learned from, trust, and have experience with. And But I know there are many other fine Noahide teachers and rabbis that are doing wonderful work out there. So, and kudos to them. So, I will leave it at that. I am enjoying being able to get back and do some more videos, although I do have to pre-record because I get, like now I'm starting to get a bit of a funny throat again. But Hashem has blessed me. I'm improving, and thank you all again so much for your prayers and concerns about my health. But I'm getting slowly back there, one step at a time. In the meantime, please take care and God bless.